Thank you for joining the National Communications Network for yet another episode of this program called Beyond the Title, a program where we take a deep dive into the lives and experience of the ministers of government recently appointed by His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali. Joining me in studio today for this conversation is the newly appointed and newly minted Minister of Public Service, Government Efficiency, and Implementation, Minister Zulfikar Ali. Minister, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Shakwan.
Really appreciate it. So, as we've been doing in this program, there's one specific question that starts us off in all of our conversations, and it's because we really want to get to know our minister. So, of course, I have to ask you, who is Zulfikar Ali?
All right. I'm afraid I wouldn't have a very fantastic, interesting story for
That's
you,
fine.
but I will try.
That's fine.
I started my career at the Ministry of Finance. Straight out of university, I started with a bachelor's in international relations, entered the Ministry of Finance as a planner in the bilateral division. I subsequently became a senior planner in the multilateral division and headed that division as well. I then did a master's in human resource planning and development, and I was selected to go and represent Guyana and the Caribbean at the board of the Inter-American Development Bank in Washington, D.C. Having spent three years there, and I came back to Guyana, and I formed the American Chamber of Commerce. During that time, I also did a master's in foreign policy and diplomacy, and I studied law as well. My LLB at UG and my legal education certificate in Trinidad and Tobago. In 2020, when President Ali assumed office, I went to Washington, D.C. as a Deputy Chief of Mission to the United States and also as Guyana's non-resident ambassador to Mexico. At our recently concluded election, President Ali asked me to join and to serve in his cabinet.
But I have to ask you, that moment and even subsequently after, what was it like now knowing that you are now in the highest decision-making body of the country?
Well, I don't think I had any time for that to sink in, even now. I was called by the president, and he was very clear of what he wants me to do and what he expects his next government to be like. And that was a meeting, and right after that, it was a swearing in, and right there, it was work from since then. So there was no time really to sit and to reflect on anything, but to hit the ground running, really.
And I want to talk a little bit, just take us back a little, on your time spent as a diplomat. You, as you said, spent time representing Guyana in one of the most important capitals in the world, some may argue. How would you say that portfolio prepared you for where you are now?
It prepared me a lot. Being in Washington, D.C., that's the center of power and decision making when it comes to diplomats, right? And having interacted with everyone, whether it was from the White House or the State Department, U.S. government officials, there were a lot of ambassadors from other countries, from all over the world. There were various think tanks that are based in D.C. And in Washington itself, it's it's a community that is very academic focused and politically focused as well. And at first, going there, I will say that I was very shocked at first with the level of recognition that Guyana had in Washington, D.C. And many of it really was due to President Ali and, the way that he was governing Guyana. And I saw the respect that people had for the president. And they will always comment to me, I saw your president, I saw him in a video, I saw a speech he made, I saw an interview that he made. And these are not things you will hear about often.
Right.
I remember a time I was going back to DC, but I was traveling through Houston, and I was in front of the immigration officer, and he said, "Oh, you're from Guyana?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Your president, he's a fantastic guy. I saw his BBC interview." And that's what you get all the time from people. But even in the diplomatic circle, even within the U.S. government, there was this respect for the relationship that Guyana has with the United States, and the work that the president and our vice president and prime minister, of course, the relationship that they have built. So my job was really to continue to build on that relationship, to ensure that our countries are closely aligned on matters that are of great importance to us, such as our territorial integrity, but also to promote the vision that Dr. Ali has and the PC government, the energy security, the food security, and our vision and leadership in the areas of climate change. So it was very interesting, being there and getting those stuff done.
I can imagine. Now, this ministry, for the first time, has two additions to it that are new, that people may not have heard about in time past. And that's government efficiency and implementation. Of course, your party's manifesto speaks to a number of policies that are going to be rolled out in the form of the Ask Gov, AI, a national call and message center, and even training for public servants. Tell us how Guyanese will see these two new areas manifest itself in the improvement of their daily lives.
Yeah. Well, I think all of this emanated from the campaign. And the president and the vice president and the People's Progressive Party have listened to the concerns of the people. And while people were generally happy with the way that government and the services that they were getting, they were asking for a lot more. And they want to see a lot more improvement in the system. So people want to go to government agencies and get through with their transaction very quickly. They don't want a government department that closes at 12 for lunch, because that's the time that they get lunch, and that's the only time that they can go to do and transact a business. They don't want to apply for a license and not knowing where it is. They don't want to visit the NIS and not knowing where they need to go to transact a specific type of business. And those are all very, very, I would say, realistic expectations from people. These are things that we have to change, and we have the capacity to change it. And the president, you've heard him as well many times, said that this government is going to be a different government. It's going to be a government that is going to change the lives of our people. It's going to make sure that we bring at least every government service that we're doing to first world standards. And every day, that is what we think about, and that is what we do.
But some people may argue that change is not easy, Minister. How do you expect to deal with that?
Shakawan, change is never easy. But when it rolls out, everyone is behind it. And I know that, there some people are, I wouldn't say skeptical, but some people are thinking with change comes, I may not have my job anymore. Or I may not be able to function the way. That is not the change that we are bringing. The change that we are bringing is one where we will make the system more transparent. We will make everyone more efficient in what they do. And we're going to upskill everyone to ensure that they are in touch with the modern world. That, that AI, for example, right? All of the new technologies that are there to make our work a lot more easier. Are implemented. So I want to see a public service that is fully integrated, that if Shakwan is working at the Ministry of Finance, for example, he has a portal that he can go on and he can see all of the things that are available to him. His full records are there, not for the only for the human resource manager to see, but you should be able to see it. There should be mandatory training that every public servant should have. Not the cases whereby only a few get trained and a few don't get to do the training. Everyone should have training, and it should be mandatory. And the system should be able to tell us that this employee has not gone to training. This employee has not done any training in a year, and we should be able to correct it. So if we can take out the discretion of supervisors and managers, you always hear the complaint, the supervisor or manager don't like me, so I never get to go on a training, or I can't get a promotion. We want to take out those discretion and to have it whereby if you're due for a promotion, then your record states you have worked for so long, you have done all of the training, you have been to work on time, and it justifies why you should be promoted rather than leave it to whether someone likes you or not.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the implementation arm and how that's expected to work.
Right. So, Shagon, we have been. You have seen the rate of projects that we are undertaking. We are doing massive projects in Guyana now.
Yeah.
Our budget. I remember when I started the Ministry of Finance. President Ally, I used to join him. He was working at the Ministry of Finance at that time too. Vice President Jack Dio was the president of Guyana then. We didn't had the opportunity in those times to say we're going to do all of the roads in a community. We had to go and we had to select a road that is probably the worst road in the community, maybe a road that had a school at the end of it, and say this is the road that our budget can afford, and this is the road that we're going to do. Now, we are doing every road in every community. I think in the last term we've managed to do every road in every community. That is no small task. But while you're doing all of that, there are big things that the president has announced. We're going to have a Suriname bridge, a bridge over the Quarantine River connecting Suriname. We're going to have a new Berbice Bridge. We're doing another bridge in Linden. We are doing massive 4-lane highways all across the country. We are building more state-of-the-art hospitals. We're building a new terminal at the airport. And if you do the infrastructure investments that we're even doing in agriculture, New Hope canals, bridges all over, there was not any point of time in our country when we were undertaking these massive projects at one time. So implementation is very, very important. We have to be on top of it. We can't start projects and just allow them to go with the normal speed of things. We have to ensure that people are doing their work, engineers are doing their work, supervisory consultants are doing their work and working in the interests of the government of Guyana. We have to ensure that the contractors are doing their work and do it too in a way that does not compromise the safety of the people of Guyana who are traversing the various places. So implementation now becomes a very critical objective of the government. President Ally is trying to do 30 years' work within this 5 years. And he's not going to relent, he's not going to stop, and we are tasked with ensuring that everything that he's promised to the people of Guyana, that it is delivered. And he wants to deliver it, and he will deliver it. So to do that, Chekwan, we have to pay careful attention to the implementation of all of these mega projects that we have.
Looking forward to seeing that happening. As we wrap up our program and our conversation for this for today, this is a big portfolio. You are coming in with a immediate predecessor of Dr. Ashley Singh and one just before Minister Sonia Parag. How do you hope to build and what do you hope to bring that will build on this foundation that has already been laid, particularly over the last 5 years?
Yeah, well, I must thank Dr. Ashni Singh. I know it was not a easy task to manage two portfolios, Ministry of Finance and that, but he has done an excellent job, nevertheless. But I want to continue that work. I know that the like I said, our government's approach this term is to digitize government and to ensure that there is predictability, uncertainty, and transparency. And that is the push, that is the mandate of this government. We're going to take Guyana bring it to the digital age, whereby every young boy, every young girl, every citizen at the comfort of their home can enjoy government services, either through their phone or their iPad or their computer. And they must not feel that government services is burdensome. And having said that too, a lot of the things that we've heard during the campaign was that people in local authorities either not doing their work, are not respectful to the citizens of the communities who go to them. And so these are things that the president has been, I think he has been championing, that he wants to see a change in this, and that change has to come now. It can't be in another couple of months or next year or a year before the election. He wants to see this attitude and this mindset is changed now. So we have to go in there. We have to let them know that it is service to the people, and that service to the people entail that you respect the people, that you do your job, that you be as helpful as you can. Not everything you may be able to solve, but nevertheless, you're working for the people of Guyana. Yeah. If you're elected representative, whether it's in a neighborhood democratic council or in a regional office or in a ministry, we are accountable to the people of Guyana. They're the ones who are paying their taxes, they're the citizens of our country, and we have to ensure that they receive the best of service. And within this next 5 years, we're going to ensure, and we're going to work with everyone to ensure that that attitude and that mindset is changed.
Minister Ally, I want to thank you so much for spending the last few minutes with me here. Any final comments from you before we wrap up?
Well, thank you once again for having me. I know that this question about the role and the mandate of this new ministry, what it is, what it entails, and I want to assure everyone that this is not a ministry that is out there to fire anyone or to replace people. That is not the role and the mandate that we have. The role and the mandate that we have, again, as I said earlier, is to ensure that we deliver a service to the people of Guyana that is of first class, and that our public servants as well are well equipped, well trained, and are very confident in what they do and can deliver that service that the people expect.
Minister, thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you.
You've heard there from the Minister of Public Service, Government Efficiency and Implementation, the Honorable Zulfikar Ally. Stay with us here on the National Communications Network for more updates just like this. My name is Shaquan Gill, and I'm saying goodbye for now.